Up, everybody? What's up? I'm so glad that you guys decided to tune in to Ingeniously Made Whole. It has really been a blessing as we just hit 6,000 views and 600 followers. So I am so grateful, so excited, beyond ecstatic, just when you're spreading positivity. A lot of times, you get a lot of backlash in a sense, but secretly people come up to you and say, you know what, thank you for, that word that you shared, or thank you for being so positive, because that has really helped me. And that's my goal, is to be able to help people to reach their dreams, reach their goals, and just really doing that act of service. As we know, there's so many times in life, when we're doing different things and, going throughout our life, we have to remember that sometimes we have to be a servant. Even Jesus was a servant. Like, I think some people get it twisted, get beside themselves, not realizing that sometimes we have to be a servant. Sometimes we have to serve others, and there's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes it's okay to be served. And so a lot of times I think we get beside that. But anyway, I'm so excited for you guys to be tuning in to IMW Ingeniously Made Whole, founded after Psalm number 139, verse 14, which says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made whole. What I do is I help teens and young adults to overcome their mental health challenges so they can achieve their goals, attend college, develop a trade, or start a business. And so I'm excited about that, especially in this time when we are so, just adamant and prevalent about saying, hey, these are mental health challenges that we have. What can we do? What can we do? This is the issue that's going on. Let's go get some help. And I'm really grateful that now people are starting to go get help, because, that will basically stop people from, just doing so much, when they feel like they can't control themselves, or they feel like they don't have anyone to talk to. I know things are different now. And so we have to understand as parents that we can't do things the way that we used to do them when we were growing up. We have to realize that, okay, you know what? Things are not like they were. And so it's time for us to do something different, be that action changer. So that means we have to do something different, right? If we want to get different results, we got to do something different. We're living in a time now that there have been more mass shootings than ever, okay? Like, at this point in time, there's been more mass shootings than there are days to occur this year, and that's a problem. And so we have to start making sure that we address the issues that are present. It's funny because my assistant was sending out messages to some people on my Facebook and my business page. And, some people was like, hey, well, not some people, one person was like, hey, I don't have any mental health issues. Well, first of all, no one said you had any mental health issues, right? Second of all, this is, if it's not for you, pass it along to someone that you can help. And third of all, yeah, we all experience some times in our life where we feel like we're not all there. I can honestly say for myself, juggling so many hats, as a wife, a mom of four, working full time, running my business. It is not easy. There are sometimes, some days I didn't know whether I was going or coming. In the midst of being the only counselor with caseload of 540 students, which will now be 600, seeing clients, after work, private practice, being a wife, being a mom. I honestly did not know. And one thing I realized is that I did not schedule self-care. I did not schedule myself for self-care. I got a massage here and there, but I wasn't intentional about it. I didn't put on my calendar, every single one day out of the week, say, hey, this is my day. This is my time for self-care. This is my time to recharge. And so as I go into this new year, I'm definitely saying, hey, well, I say new school year because as we know, school year starting in August, some people July, but I am definitely being more intentional about taking care of myself. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity because I've met so many people, even high up in districts, and just being able to really relate to a lot of parents. A lot of times schools will tell our parents, hey, oh, this can't happen or you can't do that. But the thing is, the reality of it is you don't know what you don't know. And so me being able to have my foot in both worlds, in the mental health realm and school counselor, helps me to be an advocate for my parents to say, hey, no, you go back into that school. And you tell them, no, this is what my child needs, or this is what is needed. And so it's just important for us, if you have children, do the research. Please don't let anyone just tell you anything about your child, or just, anything. Be an advocate for your child. Show up, let them know that who you are. I know a lot of times when you're working hard, it's hard for you to be able to go to your children's school. But I did say one thing I am going to do in the midst of busyness is to plan at least one day a month that I can go to all of my children's schools and eat lunch with them. And so I just think it's important for us to be more present and just, there. One thing we had ex-NFL football player, Jawar Reed, he came and spoke with our students, him and Mr. Keith Davis. He's also a former football player. And one thing he said is the most important thing a parent can give to their child is not money, but time. And I think a lot of times this generation kind of gets confused with saying, oh, I want to give my children everything that my parents didn't give me. But we're creating a society of laziness. We're creating a society of children who don't want to work hard for anything. And so, I look at myself a lot. I'm like, man, I by no means got anything, got what I wanted or asked for. But my childhood was a little different from many. But I will say this, no one had to tell me, to stay focused or work hard for this or work hard for that. It's because I wanted those things. I was determined to get out of the situation. And so what I see now is a lot of people, they're not working hard. They're not wanting to do anything. They're not striving for better. And they get mad when people from other countries come over here and they run rings around us. And so, for example, I have a client who literally came from another country, and she said she doesn't understand why people don't value their education. Why do you not want to learn multiple languages? In other countries, it's mandatory. You have to learn the other languages. And so one thing that we talked about a lot is just really expanding our horizons, because, people will make comments to her like, oh, your English is so great. Well, you have to learn English, in other countries on top of other languages. So it's just really about expanding your horizons and understanding that, we don't, just because you live in this state or live in the United States, there's so much that happens outside of the United States. And that's just so important to understand that. So, as we've been talking about, as you know, about Ingeniously Made Whole, you tuned in today for a reason. As you guys know, I'm also an author of Stop the Drama, Stop Comparing, Focus on You, which is for our teen girls between the ages of 12 to 18 to really focus on their self-worth, build that confidence, and just walk in confidence. And shout out to my girls who attended my event, Healing Flawless. Man, the young ladies, they walked the red carpet. They had their crowns on. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And so the thing about it was when they came, they had no idea they were going to walk the red carpet, put their crowns on. We talked about building your self-esteem, building your confidence, healing. And, the thing is, they didn't come for healing, but they walked away healed. And so my thing is, I'm going to keep doing that work, regardless of how many people see the value in it or not, because at the end of the day, I know that I am changing lives. And that's the one thing with my coach that I work with when it comes to writing books. Her objective is to change lives, to help coaches and to help change your life. And so for me, I say, the more lives that I can change, the better. And when we realize that in life, it's not about us, and we focus on changing others and helping others, and like I said, being a servant, you will go so much further in your life. I've gotten a chance to meet so many millionaires, multimillionaires in this season. And one thing I've learned from them, to give. The more you give, the more you shall receive. And one thing each one of them shared with me is their business did not take off until first God humbled them, and second, until they started giving. and not realizing, not being stingy, not saying, hey, you're going to give me this, I'm going to give you that. No, they was like, no, like when God said, give it to them, because at the end of the day, it's up to them to utilize that knowledge or whatever it is that you're giving, but you continue to give. And so once you do that in your life, I don't know who that's for, who needs it, but the more you give, the more you shall receive. And so we cannot focus on those who do us wrong, because at the end of the day, vengeance belongs to the Lord. God's going to take care of that. And so you just focus on living your best life, doing what God has called you to do, and God will open so many doors for you like never, ever, ever before. So we also have a collaboration book called Listen Up. This book right here is going to be phenomenal, okay? So we are accepting pre-orders for it at the moment. And so if you pre-order a book, the first 50 people who do pre-order, they will be listed in my book for free. And so I'm excited about that. So basically the way it works is you buy a book and then your name is listed in it for free. Then I also have where you can also be a sponsor. And for that, you would pay a fee and you can actually promote and advertise your business. Phenomenal. And think about it, everywhere that book goes, your business is getting advertisements. So a lot of people, they love that. I did it with my first book, had a huge turnout. And so I'm also doing it with this collaboration book called Listen Up. Now, this book is for our teen boys, teen girls. It's for our young adults, who are going off to college, in that 20, 25 year range. And so it's just getting them right. This book is giving advice to your teen self. What advice would you give to yourself? So based on everything that you have overcome up to this point in your life, what advice, what is it that you wish someone had told you? Now that's that's a whole conversation for a whole nother podcast right there. There are so many things that I have learned in my life that I wish someone would have told me, but I realized that, everything happens the way that it does for a reason. The people that I've met, the people who have been X'd out of my life, the ones that are no longer in this season, it's because it's a reason. There's a reason why. Because as you elevate yourself, you surround yourself around new people. And so I've learned that, hey, once those doors close, let that be. No need. I'm not about to put in more effort than what people put in for me, because that's just not the season that I'm in. I've been there before where I'm giving more than what I receive in return. I'm calling more or checking in more than what I receive. No, it's a two-way street. And so for those of you who are in that season of your life and you realize you're giving too much, you got to do the inner work to say, hey, like phones work both ways. Communication works both ways. And so it's just important for you to be able to say, you know what? I got to start putting myself first. I got to start filling up my cup first. Because a lot of times people are not filling up their cup first. They got the cup, but they're not filling up their cup first. A lot of times people are trying to pour from a cup that's empty. And the bottom line is you cannot pour from something that's empty because you don't have nothing else to give. And that's what I learned in this last season. I was giving, but I wasn't filling my cup back up. And so it's just important to make sure that you recharge. I have a store who she told me now she has once a week. She has a do nothing day. She does nothing. No calls, no emails, no nothing, because she ran herself to the bottom of the ground. And so it really just depends on you. Like, how well do you know yourself? So if you want to be a part of the collaboration, make sure, or not be a part of the collaboration, but if you would like to pre-buy a book, okay, and actually right now I'm doing a buy one, get one free for $34.99. So you can either just buy one book, which is $24.99, or you can buy both books, which is buy one, get one free. Do the special. And you'll get both books, and then your name will be featured in the Listen Up book. So that's only for the first 50 who actually pre-buy a book, okay? So those who pre-buy a book, they will be listed in Listen Up, okay? And then I will also send you a form. From there, you can see if you also want to be a sponsor, where you would have to pay $97 to be a sponsor. But you can promote your business, whatever you want to do, give words of wisdom, promote your business, whatever you want to do. And everywhere this book goes, your information is in there. So it's like free advertisement for you. So whatever you want to do, just go to focusyoursuccess.com. Go ahead and do the buy one, get one free. You cannot beat that deal, okay? And you'll get your one book. And then once the other book is published, you will get that book as well, okay? All right, so today we're going to talk about healing. It's just important to understand the importance of healing. Healing, we can talk about that for days and days because there's so many different types of healing, just so many different things that people have been through. But we want to talk about the top 3 challenges that are associated with those who are not healed. Okay, so challenge number 1 is a lot of people are emotionally damaged, meaning they're dealing with so much, okay, internally. And when you look at your brain, if we were to take a look at our brain, whew, if you've been through some things, your brain's going to show it. So, for example, we have a brain that has experienced trauma and abuse compared to a brain who has not experienced trauma or abuse. They're night and day. So that brain with trauma and abuse, they have a lot of red in the back because they live in fight or flight mode. Meaning if someone were to drop a book right now, they're like, oh my gosh, what just happened, right? Compared to someone who has not experienced trauma or abuse, they're like, oh, it's just a book. Like, what's your problem? And so it's just important to understand that. And so that's one challenge that's associated with those who are not healed or who are dealing with mental health challenges is they are emotionally damaged. Another challenge are those who are harboring anger. I mean, they have pent-up emotions, they're holding on to that anger, and it's hard to let it go because the reality of it is hurt people hurt people. And so a lot of times I don't think people even realize that they're hurting others because they just, like some people say all they see is red when they get so angry. That's all they see. They're living life, they're going throughout day to day. Someone hurt them. And there's times that they're like, you know what? I want revenge. I want it. And I'm going to take it however I can. Just like Cain and Abel, right? And so it's just important for you to check yourself and say, okay, what am I allowing? Is this worth it? I am allowing something to take over me. Is it worth it? Ask yourself, have I come too far to allow someone or something to take full advantage of me? Do I have more to lose? If I have more to lose, then I got to do the work. I got to heal, right? I got to, make sure I take care of myself. I talk to all types of clients. I talk to people who say, you know what? It's worth me spending the night in jail tonight. I'm like, hey, that's you, right? That's your opinion. I'm telling you right now, I'm not trying to see inside of nobody's jail cell, okay? That's me personally. But I just think it's just important for us to check ourselves and just realize, okay, are we hurting others or are we helping others? Challenge number 3, social isolation. A lot of people are socially isolated, meaning that they are cutting off people. They say, you know what, I don't want to be bothered. I'm done. I'm tired. Like I'm just over it. And that's a realistic thought. That's the reality process. That's a very realistic to say, you know what, I'm done. I've had enough. I'm through. But the key is once we get out of that slump to wake up and say, okay, you know what? I got to get together. I have purpose inside of me. God created me for a reason. And so you might say, okay, what do I do? Well, you can journal about it. You can talk it out. Of course, you better make sure you get the right friend because you tell the wrong person, oh my goodness, right? And you know what? You can get that, like they say, let that hate out your heart. Let that anger out of your heart. Let it out your heart. You got to let it go. And you'll feel so much better when you let it go. You can do deep breathing. Literally breathe in and breathe out. You can speak with a mental health therapist. You can go to focusyoursuccess.com and you can read my book. If you're a teen or young adult, or if you have a child that really needs some direction, needs to help building that solid foundation, direct them to me. Mental health, I'm a mental health therapist. You can send them to me as well. Whoever needs help. And so the key is understanding when it comes to healing, it's not a, one stop and you're done, right? It takes time, and there are some things that may happen in your life that trigger you, but you have to understand, identify those triggers and push yourself forward. And so that would be my homework assignment to you today, is to identify what is it that triggers you? What is it that triggers you to be in a state of where you realize that, okay, you know what? I'm not as healed as I thought I was. Because once you know your triggers, that's going to help you to heal. Well, as you guys know, I am Brittany Petty. If you're not following me yet on Instagram, what are you waiting for? Make sure you go to Instagram and follow me at Ingeniously Made Whole all together. You can't miss me. And you can also follow me on TikTok at IMW Counselor Petty, which is the same as my LinkedIn as well. And just make sure you follow me. Stay tuned. We have some exciting things that are getting ready to come out in this season. So I just want you guys to definitely stay tuned. We're going to have some therapy boxes for our youth and our young adults. You know, as they're getting ready to go back to school, it's going to be so dope. Okay. They're going to have their backpacks with affirmations, crown, a prayer card, just really getting them ready. So when they walk into this new school year, that they are ready and understand that, you know what, no one can tell you what your worth is but you. And just really focusing on positivity, you know, and it's also for those young adults that are going off to college. As they're getting ready, they're experiencing something new. And, you know, just different things like that, getting them ready. And this is something that I wish I would have had growing up, because that was scary for me. You know, going off to college, you don't know anybody. I'm share a room with somebody. I don't know. And it's just, you know, it's so much there. Even every year as you're going off to start your new school year, you know, what teachers will I have? You know, your friends that moved away, or the friends, your new friends. And it's just so much. And so that's what the focus is on right now. Of course, we have self-care retreats. So you can also go to Focus Your Success, book me for a call, and we can talk about that as well. They're actually called mental health self-care retreats. They will be offered 4 times a year. So if you want to be on my email list, go to focusyoursuccess.com, put in your information. From there, there'll be a part for you to download 11 tips to overcome mental health challenges. Or you can also buy the book, buy one, get one free for $34.99. Listen up and stop the drama, stop comparing, and focus on you. And then by you just putting your information, you will also be a part of my email automation, where you can receive, you know, different emails about my self-care retreats, therapy boxes, whatever it is that has caught your attention. If you want to book me for a mental health therapist consultation, you can also, once you go on my website, it'll allow you to book me. If you would love to be a guest on my podcast, you can also go to focusyoursuccess.com. Keeping it simple for y'all, okay? Just go to focusyoursuccess.com, and then from there, you can book me, do whatever you need to do. You can also do it through CTR Media as well. But I'm just so excited to have you guys tune in with me. And before we leave, I want to leave you guys with an amazing quote. If you prioritize yourself, you will save yourself. I'm going to read that again. If you prioritize yourself, you will save yourself, by Gabrielle Union. And reason why I love this quote is because we've got to start filling up our cup first. You know, so if you realize you need healing and something's triggering you, take a step back. If you realize you're doing too much, take a step back. Fill up your cup first. But the key is that you have to know what is it that fills up your cup. Because for many, it's not pedicures and manicures and all of that. For many, it's sleep. It's getting that hot coffee or hot tea before you start your day. It's spending that time with God in your prayer closet. It's talking to your friends once a week, twice a week. It's getting outside, spending time in nature. It's going for long walks, or prayer walks, as I like to call them. It's getting a break from your children who are arguing and fighting. It is whatever it looks like for you. For some people, it might be having those date nights with your spouse. Whatever it is, you have to figure out what it is that fills up your cup. And once you fill up your cup and you know what fills up your cup, that will help you to be a servant to others and just be able to receive, flourish, reflect, and just be a better you. So like I said, don't forget your homework. Okay, don't forget to write down your triggers. What is it that triggers you? Okay. And so I am so glad for you guys to tune in to Ingeniously Made Whole. I am W, as you know, is founded after Psalm number 139, verse 14. I am fearfully and wonderfully made whole. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to go to focusyoursuccess.com. Go ahead and grab your book, buy one, get one free. Listen up, stop the drama, stop comparing, focus on you. $34.99. First 50 to pre-order will be mentioned in my book for free, meaning you don't have to pay anything extra. You buy the book, you're in the book. Your first and last name is in my book for life. If you want to promote your business, I'll send you a form, $97. Everywhere my book is sold, your business is being promoted. So I'm all about collaborating, all about helping people to excel and be great. Today we talked about healing, making sure that you check yourself. We understand the 3 challenges of being emotionally damaged, harboring anger, being socially isolated, and just doing the work. Journal, seek a mental therapist. If not me, seek somebody, okay? And just get the help that you desire, get the help that you need. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to follow me on the Instagram, Ingeniously Made Whole, and TikTok, LinkedIn, IMW Counselor Petty, whichever one you're most comfortable with. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm so glad to have you guys tune in. And thank you guys for all of you who listened in to my podcast, helped me reach my goal. 6,000 listeners, 600 followers. I want you guys to all know that each and every one of you guys are truly, truly, truly appreciated. Go be blessed and have a great day. Don't let anything stop you from being great.